At the Gaza site, when the opposing unit arrived in a tank to initiate their operation, what followed caused a chorus of startled cries among them. Friends, this was a particular area of Gaza where many displaced Palestinians had taken refuge in makeshift shelters. There was a time when these people had proper homes and steady livelihoods, when nothing was lacking in their lives. But previous conflicts had taken everything from them: their homes, their means of earning a living, and even their cherished family bonds. They had lost loved ones during earlier events, and now they were forced to live in temporary accommodations deep within Gaza. The area itself was desolate, a landscape reduced to ruins. The ground was cracked, and the few rock formations that remained had assumed a fearsome aspect that could unsettle anyone at first glance. Across the rugged terrain, large fissures could be seen, likely formed by repeated explosions and heavy impacts that scarred the land. For over a month, these Palestinians had been enduring life in their humble shelters, a testament to their resilience amid ongoing hardship. It was widely known that many had already suffered greatly in this prolonged conflict. When the news spread that some residents were still sheltered in these modest structures in this part of Gaza, the opposing unit resolved to impose further pressure. With a tank and additional equipment, they declared, "We will make an example of this area." Their message was clear. They insisted that this territory belonged to them, implying that the presence of others was unwelcome. Initially, 2 or 3 individuals from the group entered the area where 5 shelters housed the Palestinian families. As soon as the residents caught sight of these individuals, fear gripped them. With hands pressed together, in a gesture of supplication, they pleaded, "We only desire peace. We have not caused any harm. We are merely seeking a safe haven. You have already affected us greatly. Please allow us to leave without further incident." Yet the individuals continued on, making harsh gestures and remarks that belittled the residents. "This is our land," they stated, questioning under whose authority the residents might remain there. The situation quickly escalated, so that even the small children huddled inside the shelters were overcome with panic. They murmured in trembling voices, "We will leave immediately. We will pack our few belongings and go. If this truly is your land, then we will not remain here. But please do not harm us. If something happens, our little ones might suffer irreparable damage." Overwhelmed by fear, the residents reluctantly agreed that departure was the only option. Just as they began gathering what little they had, one individual from the unit, in a moment of excessive force, struck a man on the ankle, causing him to fall. In the ensuing confusion, further harsh actions followed. Soon, blood became evident as 2 residents sustained injuries. Yet the inhabitants did not respond with retaliation. Their quiet compliance was not an act of defeat, but rather a desperate attempt to protect their families. "You have occupied this territory for so long," they thought. "We cannot leave without ensuring our loved ones remain safe." Even as they continued to request safe passage, the individuals insisted, "You have maintained your presence here for many days. How can we simply let you go?" Their tone was marked by arrogance as they mocked the vulnerable residents and warned them of impending consequences. After this exchange, the situation deteriorated further. The individuals began imposing additional hardships on the gathered community, extending their forceful actions to include not only the men, but also the women and children. Then they delivered a chilling ultimatum. "We will move forward with our tank. If you wish to preserve your safety, it would be wise to reconsider your current beliefs and adopt our perspective." In their view, changing one's belief system was presented as the only route to avoid further hardship. These words struck the hearts of the Palestinian residents with deep anguish. "All the suffering we have endured," they cried out, "we have suffered solely because of our faith. You oppose us simply because we are true to our beliefs. If we abandon our identity to save ourselves, then what will become of the sacrifices of our children, our wives, our siblings, and our parents? We may perish, but we will never forsake our convictions. Our faith is our strength." Their resolute words echoed among the ruins as they clutched onto their deeply held beliefs, even as the unit's members responded with increased insistence. "We will move forward with our tank." Moments later, a call was made over the radio, and before long, a larger tank arrived. At that moment, a dozen members of the unit, with voices laced with derision, declared, "Watch with your own eyes as we carry out our orders." Meanwhile, the unit had managed to confine the residents within their shelters. Innocent children lay overwhelmed by fear, and every cry was accompanied by the hopeful refrain, Allahu Akbar, from those who still believed in divine mercy. It was apparent to all that many would not survive. In unison, the residents began reciting their declaration of faith, a final united statement in the face of adversity. As the tank advanced, the echoes of mocking laughter filled the air. Yet nature had an unexpected twist in store. As the tank continued its movement, it rumbled past a large rock formation. Unbeknownst to those involved, this ancient rock harbored a substantial beehive, a colony that had found refuge within the deep fissures carved by years of impact. The rock, half buried in shifting sands and scarred by repeated heavy impacts, had become a haven for these bees. As the tank passed, its treads inadvertently crushed the beehive, rupturing its delicate structure and releasing the bees all at once. In an instant, countless bees emerged, swarming in every direction. Their collective buzzing soon mingled with the cries of those present, creating a surreal and chaotic soundscape in the arid environment. The unit's members, initially startled by the unexpected natural occurrence, scrambled to fend off the sudden assault from the bees. Some attempted to wave them away with their hands, while others used available gear to shield themselves. Panic spread quickly among the unit. They had never experienced such an occurrence, a natural counteraction from the very environment they had sought to control. As the bees persistently attacked, covering faces, hands, and feet with stinging bites, the members found themselves increasingly overwhelmed. Even those inside the tank were not spared as the bees managed to infiltrate its interior. The voices of discomfort grew louder as the bees stung with relentless persistence. In the midst of this unfolding chaos, the natural intervention proved overwhelming. The individuals, confronted by the sheer number of bees, began to retreat in disorder. Some dropped their equipment, while others desperately sought shelter from the relentless stings. Their earlier mocking remarks were abruptly silenced by the unforeseen natural onslaught. Two individuals, unfortunately, succumbed to the bee stings as the venom spread through their systems. For the remaining members, the situation had become critical. Their features became obscured by swelling and discoloration, and reports began circulating that many were receiving urgent medical attention for the effects of the bee venom, a mysterious substance now permeating their systems. Meanwhile, the Palestinian residents, who had been enduring unspeakable hardship, suddenly found themselves spared from further harm. In that moment, many viewed the incident as a form of unexpected intervention, a reminder that even in dire times, relief may come from the most unforeseen sources. The survivors raised their voices once more, proclaiming Allahu Akbar in a renewed declaration of hope and resilience. They came to believe that despite the severe challenges they had faced, nature's intervention was a sign of mercy at their hour of need. Friends, many saw this event as more than a mere coincidence. It was interpreted as a sign that when communities remain steadfast, help may appear in the most unusual forms. History is replete with instances where, in the face of overwhelming challenges, relief emerges unexpectedly. Here, the residents had long endured trials, and this occurrence reinforced their belief that they were never truly alone in their struggle. As the commotion subsided and the unit's members began to withdraw, disoriented and shaken by the swarm of bees, the survivors gathered what little they had and offered heartfelt prayers in gratitude. Their lives had been spared, and in that moment, many felt that a higher power had provided a blessing in their hour of darkness. In the end, despite the relentless adversity and the hardships they had faced, these Palestinians clung to their enduring faith. They believed that even if the worst were to come, the true legacy of their resilience would not lie in yielding to external pressures, but in preserving their identity and convictions. We may perish, they affirmed with quiet determination, but we will never forsake our beliefs. They chose honor and steadfastness over compromise, a conviction that had carried them through unimaginable challenges in the past. Thus, as the remaining members of the opposing unit retreated, marked by the painful sting of nature and a shaken sense of purpose, the Palestinian survivors stood together, united by their shared faith and resolve. They understood that every trial they encountered was a step on the journey toward eventual justice and reward. With unwavering determination, they whispered their prayers and began the slow process of rebuilding their lives, ever mindful of the miraculous intervention that had unfolded before their eyes. Friends, this event serves as a powerful reminder that nature, and for many, divine mercy can shift the balance even in the midst of human conflict. It reinforces the idea that hope and compassion may emerge from the most unexpected sources, even during the most challenging times. Such moments are recorded in history as a testament to the enduring strength of faith, a faith that persists even under the weight of tremendous adversity.